Hey everybody, this is Bill. I am the salty old Marine. I want to talk about a video that I saw on YouTube just the other day, and it woke something up in me, and so I kind of want to talk about it. And so I am aiming this specifically at my fellow veterans who suffer from PTSD. I have PTSD. I'm rated for it through the VA, so I have a VA disability for PTSD. But in addition to that, I am currently and still seeking treatment for my PTSD because it so severely impacts my daily life. And, well, it's getting worse as I get older. So I'm trying. I'm doing the therapy, and I'm trying to find something that helps me. I've been through what they call PE, prolonged exposure, and that was the first treatment I went through. And I did find it useful. What it's designed to do is to get you to talk about your particular stressor, the trauma that you experienced, over and over and over again. You repeat it and you repeat it and you repeat it until it loses its effect. That is to say, in my case, I had not talked to anybody about my trauma, about the events that caused my PTSD, ever. I had never talked to my wife about it. I had never talked to my family about it. Never talked to my friends. I kept it to myself. And to be honest, I wasn't even sure that I had PTSD. I mean, it's not something you just wake up and you know you have. Like, you go, oh yeah, I've got a little heartburn here. You know if you've got it, right? I got tinnitus here. You know if you've got it. You don't know if you've got PTSD. You may not even know exactly what it is until you're diagnosed, until you start getting some treatment. But as it turns out, yes, I have PTSD. Yes, I'm rated for it. And through this prolonged exposure treatment, I got to the point where I could talk about the trauma. And so that was useful, and it did exactly what it was supposed to do, right? So now my wife knows about it, and I've told some selected friends about it, and I suppose that's all for the best. It also had some negative effects. One of those was it caused a great deal of introspection in my case. That is to say, I started looking back at my life ever since I first experienced the PTSD, and I started thinking about the ways in which I had run my life, the ways in which I had behaved, the things that I had done and not done, and how I had hurt other people. And I began to realize that a lot of it was directly because of my PTSD, and I regretted it, and I felt bad about how I had lived my life and the kind of person I had been. Now, as I've gotten older, I think I've become a slightly better person. I care more about others. I try not to hurt people or their feelings or anything, really. I've become far less aggressive, but I still have a lot of symptoms of PTSD. I have panic attacks almost daily. I react to stress badly. It's very easy for me to fly off the handle and become angry and lash out. And about the only thing that's different now than before I was diagnosed with PTSD is now when I have a panic attack, I actually kind of know that I'm having the panic attack, and so I can practice things that I've been taught in some of my other VA therapy, like practice deep breathing and practice mindfulness, and realize that it is a symptom of PTSD and I can just get through it. And so I don't maybe say things I shouldn't say, yelling or raising my voice or getting angry, or, hey, in my case, it's even been like slamming my fist on a table, or, being abrupt with people, and, just in general being a butthead, just being a bad person. I'm trying to control that, right? Because I'm now a little more aware of it while it's happening. But my heart rate goes up and my pulse increases, and I just don't feel good. And so these are panic attacks, and I have them. Now, getting to the point. There was a YouTube video recently by Doctor Sharma, and I'm going to put a link to his video in the description of this video. And he talked about some things that I had actually read about not too long ago, and I've been following it with great interest, and that is some alternative treatment methods for PTSD, including things like magic mushrooms, psilocybin, and MDMA, and various other psychoactive drugs that in tests have shown some great possibilities for improvement in PTSD. And I'm very fascinated by that, and I'm very interested in it. I don't take drugs. I don't even like taking medication for PTSD. The only thing I take is I take something for nightmares, which, by the way, doesn't work for me, unfortunately, at least not so far. Yeah, so I'm kind of against anything that modifies my personality via chemical means, and so I'm not sure I would be that interested in any kind of psychoactive drug that might help me. But there's something else, and this is what I wanted to talk about. This is the whole meat and potatoes of what I want to talk about. I am not sure I know how to be healthy. I mean mentally. I mean, I have had PTSD since I was 18, and I'm 64. Man, I'm not sure I know what healthy means. I'm not sure how it would feel. I'm not sure who I would be. In other words, if you take my entire personality, who I am, right, and let's say a third of it or half of it or maybe even more is damage done by PTSD, but it's part of me. It's part of who I am. It may not be the best part of me. It may be a bad part of me, but it's part of me. It's like wearing glasses. I can't see a bloody thing without my glasses, but they're part of me. Does that make sense? I'm not even sure if somebody could wave a magic wand and my eyes would be perfect. I'm not even sure I would want that, because this is part of who I am. And I know it sounds awful, but in some ways I feel like my damage, my broken parts are part of me too. And I'm not sure who I would be without them. Let's face it, we're talking in a way about a magic wand. You know, you take this medication, you take this psychoactive drug. It may take more than one time. I'm not saying you just pop a pill and you're done. But it has the potential to have amazing effects in terms of ameliorating PTSD. And I don't know if I'm ready for that. You know, I'm 64. I have lived with this since I was 18. Even though I didn't always know that I had PTSD, right? It informed who I was and how I reacted and how I behaved. And believe me, plenty of the things I did were wrong, were bad, and I regret them. I'm not saying they were good, but they were part of me. And I just don't know what it would mean for me to not be that person anymore. I don't really have a point here. I don't have an axe to grind. I don't have a point of view that I'm trying to espouse. I'm not telling you what you should or shouldn't do. I think it's a great thing that there are studies being done, that people are doing investigations, that people are trying to help. Yeah, absolutely amazing and good. And for those people who can be helped and who want to be helped, I think it's fantastic. I don't know if that's me. And that just, it sounds terrible to say. Maybe it is terrible to say, I don't know. But I wanted to share that. So yeah, watch Dr. Sharma's video, because it's fascinating and it's important if you've got PTSD. Yeah, that's all I've got for right now. I'm Bill. I am the Salty Marine. I don't know what this video is about, but I hope you enjoyed it at least. Maybe you can identify with it. I don't know. Leave a comment. Leave, like it, share, subscribe, do all this stuff, right? But yeah, leave a comment. I'm really interested in the comments. And, as always, have a great day.